Have you been told you need to stop doing what you love, whether it's exercise, running, or a sport? Well, here at Dynamic, we don't like that answer. In this podcast, we'll talk to leaders in the health and wellness space from Southwest Florida to get the solutions you need to get you back to doing what you love. Welcome to the Dynamic Naples Podcast. What's going on, Naples? Today I have a very special guest. I have Yuri Opendik. He is yoga certified. He's certified in the Wim Hof method and also certified through Chek. How you doing, Yuri? Thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, Chris. So excited to be here.
Yeah, and we're excited to have your seminar here. So let me just start off by saying November 20th, Yuri is going to be here doing a seminar at the Show Me Strength Gym in North Naples from 2 to 6 p.m. We'll definitely put a link to the events in the show notes. And seats are limited, so definitely jump on that. So, Yuri, tell me about your background. How did you get into the career of wellness?
Well, I've been, kind of on this path of self-healing for about 15 years. When I was about 26, I got into yoga, started practicing yoga. And yoga has really been kind of like the doorway into all these other modalities that I've been exposed to over the last 15 years. And so, yeah, yoga is definitely my root staple practice. That's how I got into it. And then, over the years, I started experimenting and working with plant medicine and really, getting in touch with my feelings and getting to understand myself better. And that has, in a way, guided me to where I am today. And, as a yoga teacher and a holistic coach, and now a Wim Hof method instructor as well.
Yeah. Did you have any challenges in your life that kind of led you down this way?
Had a lot of challenges. We immigrated to United States from Russia when I was 10 years old, and kind of had to, pretty much find my own way. Grew up a little bit on the street, and was in many of different opportunities and situations, challenges. Worked dozens of jobs since I was 10 years old, and made it. I became a systems engineer. I was in the IT and in the IT field for 20 years. But when I was turning about 40 years old, I was really questioning what I really wanted to do with my life. What is my calling? I mean, I had a family and a job and all these things that I really wanted to have, kind of survival mode. And then I felt that I have survived, and now I was ready to thrive. And so I was asking myself that question: what do I want to do? And I went to India for that, and got deep into meditation, and the answers started coming. And they were my soul was guiding me to go to India. And then the next step was to go train with Wim Hof. And on my way to Poland to train with Wim, I got a severe pain messenger that I had to work through in Poland while on that retreat. And then when I got back, that pain messenger guided me to meet Paul on my path and start learning from him, and really just embodying his work and being just in awe of the depth of knowledge that he's putting out there. And I just felt that I had a feeling I had to follow that path. And I've been on this path for about 3 years. I've been really been on the holistic path of really getting in touch with my true self and following my heart.
Gotcha. Wow, that's very interesting. And I gotta say, the breathing seems to be a hot topic right now. And so, could you describe a little bit about, first of all, who is Wim Hof? I mean, I know of him, but I'm sure many of my listeners have not heard of him. Could you give a small background on him, because he's definitely an interesting character?
Yeah, Wim is he's an essence of love. He's a free soul, free being. He's been doing this for 40 years. He's been around for a long time. Nobody heard of him. He was kind of disregarded for a very long time. And over maybe the last 7 years, he's been coming into the mainstream media. I've heard about him probably about 7 to 8 years ago. I saw him on TV, kind of just also, so what's this guy doing? Sitting in ice. So yeah, he's really trained himself. He's had a hard life himself. He's had a few challenges. A big one, his wife committed suicide when he was about, I think, in his 30s. He had 4 kids, and he really used that event in his life to as a stepping stone for growth. He got into the cold, and he got on a mission to help people deal with depression. He's been on this path of helping people deal with deal with inflammation, all kinds of diseases, and he's been kind of a test subject, offering himself to be tested, and he's been teaching other people to do the same. And he says that I'm not special. You can do what I can do, and it is true. We all have the power to do what he can do. It's not about how long you can sit in the cold or how long you can hold your breath. It's really about going deep inside yourself and letting go. We have all the stuff that's bottled up inside of us, and the breath is that pathway to let go, and deep breathing facilitates emotional trauma release. Yeah, so Wim has definitely been an inspiration on my path. I love him. He's out there. He has no boundaries, no limits. He talks his truth, and I really and I'm inspired and look up to him for that, for just being himself.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I read, tell me if this is true, that because you mentioned him being a test subject, he injected himself with E. coli, and then through a type of breathing that elevates your body temperature, was able to burn it off. Is that correct?
Well, this breathing technique that Wim kind of teaches, right? The Wim Hof method breathing technique is an energetic breathing technique. It is has a lot of similarities to other breathing techniques, where you're bringing a lot of energy, a lot of oxygen into your body, and exhaling lots of CO2 at the same time. So temporarily, you're able to alkalize your blood, raise the pH level, and that has many effects on your physiology. So in a way, you're able to, I see it as push out those viruses or whatever it is that's coming into your system, and you're able to push it out in the physical level, and also with your emotional level, using your mindset and meditation techniques. So I've used this method on many occasions when I'm coming down with a cold, I'm feeling a little sluggish, and then I'll just do this breathing technique for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and boom, it's gone. Or next day I wake up, I have no more symptoms, and I've done this many times.
That's fascinating. So yeah, from what I've read, so which we classically learn in school is CO2 is this waste product. And I've sort of learned that that's not exactly right. It's it's a way to, the more you can tolerate CO2 in the blood, the more it scrubs off oxygen. So it actually helps deliver oxygen the more we tolerate CO2. Do I have that right?
Absolutely. CO2 is so important for us. Without CO2, we wouldn't be able to get into the parasympathetic state. I'm not going to get into the sympathetic, parasympathetic details. I'll go into that in my workshop, but it basically allows us to meditate and to drop into our nervous system, where the body is able to heal itself. So this breathing technique teaches us, or trains our body to be able to sustain higher levels of CO2, be okay with higher levels than CO2 in our blood, and at the same time allows us, or trains us, to be better at taking in oxygen. So CO2 is very important for our kind of rest and relax state. And what else do I want to say about CO2? CO2 is directly related to fear. So people, what the study shows, that people that can handle CO2 or higher levels of CO2 usually have anxiety. So training your body to handle higher levels of CO2 makes you more relaxed.
Yeah, there are CO2 tests you can do. It's as simple as like taking a deep breath in, exhaling, and then seeing how long you can tolerate that for. There's, I forget the numbers, but if it's like under 12 seconds or something like that, it tells you you're in like a high anxiety state, right? Isn't there a test like that? Yeah.
I can't tell you right now. I don't know one exactly, but I'm sure there are some I've heard. I just don't know at the top of my head exactly which one. Yeah, but I'm sure there are. You can look it up.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. And then you mentioned the pH of the body. So CO2 puts you in a more acidic state. Is that right?
CO2 puts you more in acidic state. Yes.
And that helps burn viruses?
That helps to push out those diseases. So, Wim, you mentioned that he was injected with the E. coli virus at the famous Radboud University. That's really when he started getting notoriety. He was the first one of all the test subjects that did not get sick or had very mild symptoms. That would induce kind of flu-like symptoms. And they said, "Wow, you must be superhuman. But if you can show and train other people to do that, that would be something." And that's what he did. Next year, he took 12 people up to Poland, trained them for 4 days, and they were also injected with that E. coli virus or that shell of that E. coli virus. And all those test subjects that were trained by Wim were able to influence their autonomic nervous system, and all the markers in the blood were way down.
It's just mind-blowing. I mean, especially these days with COVID, I mean, this should be common knowledge. And I'm very excited for the seminar. Let's go into, tell me what we're going to do in the seminar. I know you're bringing ice baths. So what's the correlation between the breathing and ice baths?
So the ice baths, the cold trains our body to step out of the comfort zone. We've just been kind of, always in the comfort zone, 75 degrees, AC, or putting on a jacket. And so we've kind of gotten weak. We've lost that primal strength. And so the cold is that opportunity for us to step outside of the comfort zone and train our body to rev up all the physiology inside. It speeds up the metabolism, and it just has to start working again. And so by doing consistent cold exposure, your body gets used to these weather changes in the weather. I live in New York. I used to take the train up to work, and how many times I remember it was a hot day outside in New York. You step into that train, the AC is blowing cold, and boom, you get the sniffles, sore throat, on all that sorts. When I started training, doing cold exposure, that all those symptoms stopped. My body stopped reacting to those changes in temperature. So the cold trains your body to become hardened and handle these kind of fluctuations in nature and adapt.
Do you use heat in the same way? Do you do any sauna training?
I love sauna. Try to get to sauna at least once a week. It's the same principle. Use the same meditation, connection to your breath, slow breathing, just like you do in the cold. This is what we're going to be teaching people how to breathe in the ice. Same principles apply in the sauna. Slow, deep breathing, relaxing into it, and allowing the body to adjust. So Wim has actually done. He's got a lot of cold world records and Guinness World Records, and one of them is actually he ran a marathon in the desert with no water. So he's got not only the ability to handle extreme cold temperatures, but also handle extreme heat. It works both ways.
And he did a half marathon barefoot in the ice, did he not? Or in the snow?
He did. Yeah, he did a half marathon in the ice, which was pretty crazy. Pretty intense stuff. Yeah.
So
it's
just amazing. I think we just barely know what the human body is capable of. And that's what I love about all this training. I think it's really cool stuff.
Right. And it's, people are kind of appalled. Like, you ask them, what's the workshop about? So getting into the cold, and they're like, oh, I don't want to get into the cold. A lot of people don't want to step outside the comfort zone. They just don't want to. But in fact, all the treasures are there in the uncomfort zone. So when we step outside of the comfort zone and try something new, we grow. And this is an experience. It's an opportunity for you to grow physically, emotionally, and also spiritually.
Absolutely. I mean, we're familiar with that in the gym, right? You got to push yourself to the point where it's uncomfortable to get the adaptation. And this is no different. It's the hormetic effect.
Right. Exactly, Chris.
So tell us a little bit about Paul Chek. I know he's a coach, a very famous trainer. What's his approach to wellness?
Well, Paul, has this approach of that all our diseases are rooted in the body, right? And so he's created this system where you're doing an assessment of a person and not the problem. So really understanding, getting to the root of the problem. And a lot of the time our physical issues are rooted in our emotional issues. And it takes time to dig deep into, when I work with a client, it takes time for them to open up and trust me. But once we get to know each other and the client opens up about their past, and so we're able to understand where those issues are rooted and where they're coming from. So it's an overall approach of looking at the body as a complex set of systems working together, and getting in balance and harmony with yourself. Yeah, Paul is a renowned, health expert. When I saw his work, I was just, really amazed at what the information, first of all, that he's putting out on the internet for free. And once I started going to the Institute and taking his courses, they were so much more in depth than what I found on the internet. And I just knew that he's an authentic teacher. And so by faith, I got to know Paul. I got introduced to him and got to know him a little bit. He got to know me a little bit, and so fortunate that he invited me to his birthday a couple of months ago up in San Diego, and blessed to be doing a workshop with Paul coming up next week in San Diego on November 12th and 13th. It's a 2-day event. Paul and Angel are doing day one. It's a working in retreat, 2 days, and I will be doing advanced breathwork for self-healing, cold exposure, and power of mind training on the second day. So I'm super excited about that.
That's awesome. Yeah. So is most of your workshops on breathing and exposure training? Is that generally what you do mostly?
Lately, yes. And what I've been doing is I've been incorporating a lot of yoga and the downloads I got through my plant medicine work into the workshop. So I've been kind of combining it all to make it more in-depth workshops. So yes, it's called the Wim Hof Method Workshop, but I'm actually sharing a lot more. So I've been getting a lot of great feedback from my past participants. They've been really able to connect to their breath. It is all about the breath. The breath is the most important thing we do all day, every day. And so I kind of incorporate my yoga knowledge, things that I've learned at the Chek Institute, and stuff that I've learned through my journeys, doing plant medicine and my challenges that came up, and I share that with people, and a lot of people can resonate and see where it helps them on their path.
Yeah, I'm so excited for it because I do actually incorporate some breathing with especially my low back pain patients. I'm not sure if you know that I'm a physical therapist, so. Like one of the first things I do is get them to slow down their breathing. It's amazing. I feel like people's breathing pattern is so heightened all the time. I guess it's our stressful environment, but so just that will get them to kind of calm down the pain levels. Not to mention that there's actual mechanical things that happen, like spinal flexion extension, that happen just with general breathing. And not only that, the effect on the lymphatic system is huge. So I'm really excited to go more into depth and have some more tools in my toolbox. So, I want to be respectful of your time. I know you have another call pretty soon. Where do people find out more about you?
Yes, Chris. I am on Instagram, which is openmind_inc, INC. I'm on Facebook, Yuri Opendik, spelled YURYOPENDIK. And I also have a website, which is evolvewithyuri.com. And there's a profile, my profile on the Wim Hof Method page, which is wimhofmethod.com/profiles, I believe, /Yuri Opendik. But you'll be, if you search for workshops in the areas that I'm in, you'll find it right away, or there's a link through my website to all the workshops that I have on the Wim Hof Method website.
Do you teach mostly in the United States, or you bounce around the world?
Well, right now it's mostly in the United States so far due to COVID and those restrictions that are coming down for us. We'll see what happens next. But I've been in Hawaii a couple of weeks ago. Detroit, and there's a couple of trips scheduled to Miami, right? So we're going to be in Miami, Naples, and also Austin, Texas.
Nice.
Coming up in December.
Awesome.
And of course, how can I forget San Diego? San Diego has been my staple. I've been to San Diego probably seven times this year, or maybe in the last 12 months. I think I've done a lot of workshops in San Diego and LA area. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I really look forward to meeting you in person. Yuri, thank you so much. I will put all your credentials, all your links in the show notes, and Naples, please jump on the website and reserve your spot. Okay. Thank you, Naples. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you again, Yuri.
I appreciate you, Chris. Thank you so much. See you soon.
Do you have unexplained pain? Or do you wonder just how healthy you are? When was the last time you had your blood tested? Blood chemistry analysis is a great way to stay ahead of any health conditions, and now you can have control of your health with Let's Get Checked. Let's Get Checked is an incredible company that sends blood tests to your home. You can choose from over 30 different tests, whether that's liver function, testosterone, micronutrient, cholesterol, or C-reactive protein, which is a marker for inflammation. It's sent to you with free shipping, and you get results in 2 to 5 days, no physician referral needed. Use the code DPT20 for 20% off. Go to letsgetchecked.com and use the code DPT20. Did you know that you can get started with physical therapy without a physician's referral? Physical therapists don't just solve pain, we get down to the root cause and keep it from coming back. We also discuss all things health, such as nutrition and lifestyle changes. If you feel that you could use some help, let's get on a free consult call. Go to www.dynamicnaples.com and sign up for a free call. Also, if you like this podcast, please give us a rating wherever you listen to podcasts. It helps us spread the message. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.